Khamzat Chimaev, one of the most polarizing figures in MMA, seems to have found himself in a bizarre situation regarding his national allegiance. The UFC middleweight contender, long associated with both Russia and the United Arab Emirates, has now been removed from Russia's official pound-for-pound rankings. This move comes after his decision to leave Sweden and officially obtain Emirati citizenship, sparking debates over where his true allegiance lies. Chimaev has consistently maintained that he represents both Russia and the UAE, a sentiment he has echoed multiple times in interviews and on social media. However, it appears that Russian officials see things differently, and his exclusion from their rankings suggests that the time may have come for him to choose a side. Given his close ties with high-ranking Russian political figures and his deep connection with Chechnya, the decision to remove him has surprised many fans. When asked about his exclusion during ACA's media day, Chimaev gave a nonchalant response, indicating that he wasn't particularly concerned with the rankings. He stated, "And if you personally want to be there, I don't know about being on this roster, but I love being in Russia, I love this country, and I often visited it when I was having my training camp in the Elbrus region in the Kabardino-Balkar Republic. I had a very warm welcome there." Despite his removal from the rankings, Chimaev made it clear that Russia remains an important part of his journey. He recounted his experiences training in the region, including his preparations for a potential fight with Robert Whittaker. "It was my camp for Whittaker. We liked it there very much mentally and in all respects in general. I really like having training camps in Russia. That's why I come here very often, near Lake Kazo in Chechnya. Our head asked to build a gym, and they did so. We trained there." While the ranking snub might be an inconvenience, it doesn't seem to be affecting Chimaev's mindset or training routine. He brushed off the issue, saying, "Let them include me in the rankings if they like. If they don't, well, I don't know who decides, but I represent both Russia and the UAE. This situation adds yet another layer of intrigue to Chimaev's already complex identity as a fighter. Born in Chechnya, but having spent much of his fighting career in Sweden before making the switch to the UAE, he is one of the few athletes in the UFC with a multinational identity. While he remains loyal to his Chechen roots and still trains in Russian territory, his formal citizenship shift to the UAE has seemingly led Russian officials to distance themselves from him. This latest development comes amid ongoing speculation about Chimaev's future in the UFC's middleweight division. Following his dominant win over Kamaru Usman, he has positioned himself as a top contender, with talks of a title fight in 2025 still in the air. However, given his history of inconsistent fight scheduling and health concerns, nothing is ever certain with Chimaev. For now, however, he appears unfazed by the ranking situation. Whether or not Russia formally acknowledges him as one of their top fighters, his focus remains on training and solidifying his status as one of the most dangerous men in the UFC. However, as he continues to build his career under the UAE's banner, the question of where his true home lies may become an increasingly complex issue. In other news, Islam Makhachev has recently discussed the possibility of facing Ilia Topuria in a highly anticipated lightweight matchup. Islam has expressed a willingness to fight Topuria, but with one major stipulation: Ilia must first prove himself in the lightweight division before getting a title shot. Islam explained, "I'm not going to give him a shot right away because he hasn't done all the work he was supposed to in his weight class. There are still contenders he needs to beat, but he doesn't want to cut weight anymore. Let him move up and earn his shot and will definitely fight." This has sparked a debate among fans. Do you agree with Islam's stance, or do you think Topuria has already earned his opportunity with his impressive knockout victory over former champion Max Holloway? Islam Makhachev also shared some intriguing thoughts regarding the potential matchup during an interview with Match TV. He mentioned that Dana White has something special lined up for his next fight, although he wasn't at liberty to announce details just yet. Islam teased, "I can't announce it yet, but there's an offer that we need to sit down with the team and think about, because there are options. We need to decide together what to do. There is an option in my weight class, and there is an offer from the UFC, but let's wait for now." Fans have been speculating whether this could be related to a potential fight with Topuria or something entirely different, but for now, the situation remains under wraps. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria made an appearance on the Full Send podcast, where he was asked about the possible clash with Makhachev. He revealed that the UFC is actively working on making this fight happen. Ilia confidently said, "I really believe I can beat the current champion, Islam. I like to fight with people that the fans think it's going to be very competitive with. With Islam, I'm going to have that. When asked why he thinks the UFC might be hesitant to make the fight, Aaliyah replied, "I don't think that they don't want to make it happen. It's in the works. They are trying to figure out some things. He's going to have a hard time with me, and something he knows, and we all know, is the only thing I need is one punch. At some point, I will connect that punch. Everything will depend on what God will decide, if he wants to send Islam to sleep or not. Who knows? That, I know that." Topuria's confidence in his ability to defeat Makhachev adds even more excitement to what could become a thrilling title fight. Moving on to another piece of news, Oleksandr Usyk has responded to Alex Pereira's recent comments about aiming to become a three-sport world champion. Pereira, a formidable athlete, has already captured titles in 2 major combat sports. He has held both the middleweight and light heavyweight titles in Glory Kickboxing and the UFC. Now, he's expressing his desire to transition into boxing and challenge Usyk for the prestigious heavyweight title. Usyk, the reigning WBA, IBF, and WBO heavyweight champion, has now responded to these bold statements with interest. In an interview with TNT Sports, Usyk revealed that he is open to the idea of facing Pereira in the ring. He said, "First is who wins this next fight on February 22nd. Maybe a show fight with Alex Pereira. Maybe. Why not? Alex wants it, so why not?" This shows that Usyk isn't dismissing the idea outright, but is instead leaving the door open for a potential bout with the Brazilian knockout artist. The idea of Pereira, known for his devastating striking in kickboxing and MMA, moving into the boxing ring to challenge one of the most dominant heavyweights in the world, is a tantalizing prospect. If Pereira is able to transition successfully into boxing and earn a shot at Usyk, it could lead to a fascinating clash of styles. Usyk's methodical and technical boxing could be put to the test against Pereira's explosive power, making this a highly anticipated showdown if it ever materializes. In another update, Daniel Cormier has weighed in on the ongoing feud between Strickland and his coach, Eric Nixick. The tension began during Strickland's recent fight with Dricus du Plessis, where Nixick, the head coach at Extreme Couture, urged Strickland to increase his output inside the octagon. Despite his best efforts, Strickland lost the fight, and afterward, Nixick didn't hold back. He doubled down on his critique, stating that Strickland's performance was uninspiring. Nixick further revealed that during the fight, even Alex Pereira turned to him and expressed his confusion about Strickland's approach. In response to the criticism, Strickland released a video in which he acknowledged his respect for Nixick, stating that they remain friends. However, he made it clear that he probably wouldn't have Nixick in his corner the next time he steps into the octagon. This video sparked more attention, with many questioning whether Strickland's decision to distance himself from his longtime coach was the right move. Daniel Cormier, a former UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion, offered his thoughts on the situation during his latest video for his YouTube channel. Cormier expressed understanding for Nixick's frustrations, stating, "I don't blame the coach. I think any great coach needs to judge their athletes fairly but very hard whenever they don't compete to the ability that you expect them to, because if you don't, who's going to?" He further added that while Strickland has the right to make his own decisions, it's not typical to simply X out the head coach, especially when that coach has been with the athlete for so long. "Eric's been at this gym for a really long time," Cormier explained, acknowledging the difficult conversations that would take place as a result of the fallout. Both Cormier and Chael Sonnen expressed confusion about the amount of hate Strickland received for his performance. Despite that, Cormier fully understood Nixick's position as a coach, especially given Strickland's underwhelming output during the fight. With Strickland likely nursing a broken nose from the bout, it seems he'll have plenty of time to reflect on his relationship with Nixick and figure out who will be in his corner when he returns to the octagon. The fallout from this situation could be a defining moment in Strickland's career, and it remains to be seen whether he and Nixick can mend their relationship or if Strickland will move forward with a new coaching team. Lastly, Khamzat Chimaev has stirred the pot once again, this time targeting Alex Pereira. Chimaev, who is likely gearing up for a highly anticipated middleweight title fight against Dricus du Plessis, seems to be setting the stage for a potential showdown with Pereira in the near future. On Tuesday, Chimaev took to social media to troll Pereira with a pair of posts that quickly gained attention. Both posts featured images of the former two-division Glory Kickboxing champion champion Alex Pereira, lying on the canvas after being knocked out by Israel Adesanya in their second fight. In one of the posts, Chimaev cheekily wrote, "Sama, wake up," while in the other, he simply added the word Sama. These taunting messages were clearly meant to get under Pereira's skin and add fuel to the fire for a future rivalry between the two fighters. While Chimaev has been known for his aggressive and somewhat unpredictable behavior, both inside and outside of the octagon, the post generated mixed reactions from fans. Some view it as part of the game, while others see it as unnecessary trolling. Either way, it's clear that Chimaev is trying to build hype for a potential matchup. Although Chimaev was initially considered an oversized welterweight, he has since adapted to middleweight, where he looks to be an average size. The idea of Chimaev making an immediate jump up to light heavyweight, even if he defeats Duplessis for the middleweight title, seems unlikely at this stage. The UFC has historically preferred champions to defend their titles multiple times before making a move up in weight class, and it's expected that Chimaev would follow that same path if he does claim the middleweight belt. However, with his ongoing rise in popularity and his brash persona, it's safe to say that any future showdown between Chimaev and Pereira would certainly captivate fans and bring even more attention to Chimaev's already intense and unpredictable career.